Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Aaron Nance with,
Dr. Jeffrey Foster.
and we are Disturbing the Peace. Here we talk about critical issues related to urban education, related to minoritized and marginalized students. We are working to be change agents in our community.
Yes. Nothing less but the best
Hey,
for our people.
hey, bars. Nothing less but the best. Nothing best but the. I was about to beat on the table.
Hey.
You and me. Hey, you remember back in middle school? You be at the lunch table
with the
pencils in it. Oh.
Yeah.
We taking y'all back, boy. Them were the days. And the milk cartons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, them were the days. But welcome back to another episode of Disturbing the Peace. Today we'll be talking about fresh as death.
Yeah. Hey.
Fresh as death, y'all. You know, so this is
so
really,
fresh, so clean.
Can't nobody touch me. I'm just so
just so fresh, so clean. So fresh and clean.
There you go. Hey, sometimes I'm worried about Dr. Foster.
I'm a little out there.
You look great. You look great. But thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you all for subscribing, sharing, and commenting. We really appreciate your feedback. Let's continue the conversation. But before we get started, y'all, we are going to do our affirmations. We're going to do our affirmations. So again, please use this in your workplace. Please use them among your peers, among your colleagues, among your friends. It is okay to reassure someone, especially we don't know what people are going through. Our last episode, we talked about you mattering, how your voice is a weapon in order to make systemic change and to empower somebody else, because we never know what people are going through. Dr. Foster, would you like to veggie off our last podcast?
Well, I definitely think our last podcast was short and sweet because it was so powerful. We were trying to move into a different direction,
right?
But then what had happened was we felt the energy, the spirit, and the vibrations, and we really felt that we should have just left it like that because affirmations are important.
Yes,
like Mr. Nance, Aaron Nance, the great, said, you never know what's going on in people's lives.
Yeah.
And you never know who needs that. Your tongue is powerful.
Right.
And that you got to watch what you say because you have the opportunity to impact someone
or
negatively or positively.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And your tongue is definitely an outlet.
For sure. I agree 100%. And with that is a great segue into our affirmations. And we're going to start with you are important.
Ooh.
You are important. You are so needed in this world in order for change to occur. You are relevant. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you aren't, because you are. You are important, you are relevant, and you are necessary. You are important, you are relevant, and you are necessary. Your children need you. Your wife needs you. Your brother needs you. Your sister needs you. Your cousin needs you. The people in your community need you.
And guess what? You need you.
And you need you, yes.
Your best self needs you. I mean, your self needs your best. You need your best self. Let's say that.
Yeah. I agree 100%. So make sure you share those affirmations with those who are closest to you and those you have the most impact on. It's needed.
It is.
You have anything else to add, Dr. Foster?
I don't. I mean, that was very profound. It is very important. You are important. You are needed. You are relevant. And you are impactful.
Yes, you are impactful.
Yes.
Even your presence is impactful. In the face of the awakening, in the face of the awakening, your existence matters.
You can be a very pleasant help in a time of trouble.
Okay, Dr. Preacher Foster.
Because my Lord, the creator, the universe, the source is a very present help in a time of trouble. But you can be a help in a time of trouble as well.
Yes, I agree. Well, with that, man, I'm really excited about this podcast.
Yes.
This new episode, y'all. We will forewarn you that this is a really deep episode. This is a really powerful episode that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So please use caution when listening to this episode because we're going to go very deep into our title of the podcast, which is Fresh as Deff.
Yes, we're going to somehow put a trigger alert right here at this side of the screen.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
So with that being said, so when we're talking about Fresh as Deff, you know, my fellas out there, you know, my women out there, when you go get your hair did, you be feeling what? Fresh as Deff, right? Like you unstoppable, you ready to go out, all that. Like you're like, man, I'm feeling myself a little bit, you know, like I'm about to hit the town, I'm about to hit the club. You know,
confidence goes
all the way up. It goes up, right? Because you feel good, you feel nice, right? It's a good feeling when you have done something for yourself, especially when you do for others all the time.
Yeah.
And the time it takes. Trust me, we know. Look, we have hair, so we know what it's like now.
Yeah, I got some twists. It's been a long time since I've had these twists before, so
right. And I got a little barrel roll.
Looks good.
Yes. My girl hooked me up. My stylist hooked me up. Yeah. So anyway, when we go to the salon, we get that fresh new look. We look good. We feel good. We, you know, our hair is up even more than it was before, which is a great thing. I'm not saying that it's not.
Walking confident.
Yes. But have you ever considered why hair continues to be a societal issue in this country?
Hair. Follicle. I'm not the thing that the follicle, thing that grows out the follicle.
Yes. And have you ever considered that the only ethnicity to be discriminated against based on hair are those who are African American?
My Lord.
So let's let that seep in real quickly. The only race in this country to be discriminated based on hair are African Americans. But before we get into that, Dr. Foster, pause, because I know you pause, but let's give a historical context and let's make this connection.
Yes, take it back to the historical context, please.
So do we even know how hair even began, how it started? Hair started with our ancestors. It started with those who were enslaved. What happened is that cornrows braiding is cultural because two things will occur. The first thing that occurred is cornrows helped to hide food in the hair for those who were slaves that were seeking freedom. So if they were hungry, they could take the seeds out their hair and eat the seeds. Another pivotal thing that happened with hair for African Americans, for Black people during this time, was you see all these designs now. I mean, braids are not as popular as they once were, like they were in the 2000s. They're not popular now as they were, but if you see guys with braids and they have patterns in there, well, those patterns were codes for how to run away. What routes to take, what patterns to use when running away.
From like in slavery, during
slavery times. Yes, during slavery times. So not only is hair cultural, it is also ancestral as well. So when I walk with my hair, or when I walk around with my hair, or when I get my hair done, yes, I feel good. I feel great. I'm ready to go out. I'm ready to go do something, but I'm also representing my culture and my heritage. Hair should not be a focal point of conversation.
Yes, and when you put it that way, I'm just thinking like hair. I'm literally hair. Is that important?
Yes.
And to connect, I would like to go ahead and make a connection to this historical context. Are you done with the historical context?
Yes.
So I just happened to be doing some research about the military and things like that, and then they had all these parameters around how you can dress,
yes,
and how you present yourself, and it said like all these things that you can't have was geared towards people of African descent. So like no corn rolls. You can't have this. You can't have the Afro puffs. And I'm like, this is crazy.
You know what? I just read actually, and I have a connection to that as well. You know, in 1780, there was something called the Negro Act. You can research this. Always, side note, always fact check us. I mean, we are scholars, we are researchers, we are practitioners in this field, which is why we felt the need to do this podcast, because we are representative of our own research. We are practicing, we're in the field, we are living, breathing this research daily, but please always go back and fact check us, leave comments, and things of that nature. We are always in the position and willing to learn.
Yeah.
So the Negro Act, 1780, addressed the same things that you were saying that Black people could not do. Like, you were boxed in because of all these different parameters that started to take shape, especially before and after the Reconstruction era.
I just don't get it. I want to get it, and I'm one of those people. I'm all about like outside the box, and I don't like following westernized rules. I mean, I do naturally, but you know, sometimes I just don't get it. Like your hair, like what's wrong with having braids or locks or things like that? And locks are very historical as well.
Right. I agree with what you're saying, and it should be more about how we choose to identify and not what identify us. And I feel like a lot of times that is very problematic. You know, research says that Black women who worked with Caucasians are more than likely to change their appearance than any other race.
In corporate.
Yep, in corporate.
Probably everywhere, but it's big in corporate.
Right, because of the how it comes off and how it makes it seem, you know, because we put those chemicals in that hair, and then naturally it's not natural, but it's straight, or I don't want my hair to be too kinky, or I'm tired hearing my students saying, "Oh, your hair is nappy." What does that even mean?
Yes, and then the fact that like, those chemicals are really bad. They give you cancer. They give you so many things.
Right.
And then on top of that, people want to use the term, "Oh, you got good hair."
Right. What does that even mean? What does good hair mean? Please help me to understand. We need to break these generational curses within our community. I don't understand what a nappy hair is. The history tells us that Black people were brought from Africa to Jamestown, Virginia in 1609. Was their hair nappy, or was it just natural?
I don't know what nappy
is. I don't.
But natural. I mean, I don't know what to say.
I don't.
Just like other people who happen to have straight hair, I mean, their hair just grows the way that it grows.
Right. No, I agree.
I mean, I'm trying to be good, y'all, because it's kind of bothering me. I'm getting revved up.
Yeah. No, as we should, we already put the discussion out there. So as you should. So let's bring it back to education. So there's a story I've been following by the name of Daryl George. Now, Daryl George is a Black kid. I think he's roughly about 16 or 17. He attends a high school in Texas. And so a while back, His mom and Daryl just went to court about 2 weeks ago, I believe. But this story came out a while ago that Daryl was suspended. Oh, I'm sorry, he wasn't suspended. He was in a school suspension because his locks violated the Texas law as related to hair. Now, let me remind you that the Crown Act was already enacted and passed and says that no institution can discriminate on the basis of hair. It's so many words. That's what that Crown Act says. That's what it does. As a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, the Civil Rights Act, I believe in 1963, also said that we should not discriminate based on creed, color, race, religion, gender, and all those other things. So it's crazy how these laws, and this is something we don't talk about, not even in the Black community. It's crazy how these laws continue to get amended in order to fit the dominant narratives. But we're not talking about it. We're not having a conversation.
No, and then it hits home multiple ways. I'm going to give two examples.
Before you give two examples, let me finish with Daryl George. I
know I kind of got off on Daryl.
Okay. I know I kind of got off on the thing. So Daryl George. So fast forward to the present, him and his mother just had a court case where the judge upheld the law for Daryl, and they're now saying that I believe he has to cut his locks in order for him to be permitted to go back to school. Now, before he was in school suspension, now I don't believe he's able to get an education because of the stipulation in Texas. Here's the other thing to it, is that Daryl is now missing out on a chance to be educated because of the discriminatory practices that are upheld by constituents in the state of Texas. Let that seep in for 1 second. I wonder how many other students, K-12 in red states, are going through the same thing that Daryl George is going through. The only reason why we know about Daryl is because it's been mediatized. So that makes me wonder how many other Black kids are going through the things that Daryl is going through.
A whole lot. And I have a very close connection to that because when I was working at the one time that I didn't work at an urban school, I worked at a suburban charter school for 1 year. They made me the diversity coordinator there. And there was a smell of marijuana, cannabis, whatever you want to call it. And they decided to search a ninth grader because he had locks. They discriminated against him.
Yeah.
And that boy was in the bathroom crying. And I had to talk to him, and I just was a loss for words. I was so upset. But it happened right around me. And I couldn't do much but empathize with him. His mom was upset. His mom said, well, maybe we'll just cut him off. No.
Right. That is not the solution.
No.
That is not the solution.
They did not have the right
to search a ninth grader.
Yeah. And before you search, I know that you have to contact parents at a certain age, but that's a whole nother story. But it's just terrible. It happens all the time. I know it happens every day.
I'm sure. I'm sure, especially as laws continue to be enacted and police and restrict the way teachers are supposed to teach. It is disheartening to know that the only people who are discriminated against for hair are Black people. Point blank, period. There's no way around it. And we talk about, as a matter of fact, I was reading a story that just came out, I think yesterday, 2 days ago, about Florida. Mm-hmm. Don't you know, because of DeSantis enacting policies, that the University of Florida, and again, fact check me, the University of Florida mm-hmm. dismantled their entire DEI staff due to the laws that are put in place.
I saw that on LinkedIn.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
That whole school, they had funds. They had millions of dollars allocated towards DEI.
And not only that, Texas, I believe it's Texas A&M.
It was TU, Texas Unit. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Never mind. Just kidding.
I think it was Texas A&M. And I believe it's Governor Abbott. Governor Abbott also implemented structures to dismantle DEI spaces at the university. So this university, I believe it's Texas A&M, they had a DEI initiative and they had funding for it. I'm not gonna say where the funding came from because I don't want to be wrong, but they had money where the funding came from, and the funding supported initiatives for African Americans, Asian, Hispanic, like it catered to every ethnicity. And then I believe either each semester or every year, they would put together like a festival that was all inclusive of mm-hmm. everybody, mm-hmm. which I think is freaking awesome, right? Yeah. Like you're including every culture and everybody to participate in this.
Like at UNC Charlotte, they had the International Festival for years, and it's so fun to see.
And they still have it.
Yeah.
And so that is no longer because of the policies that were implemented. My point is that as long as laws continue to control what we do, we're still in the system. We're still in the system, and we're still in a place where we're not thought of as citizens, but yet as products.
Mm-hmm. And what bothers me is a lot of these institutions, these higher education institutions, were backed by slavery. They were backed by the slave trade.
Yeah.
And they have the audacity to take away DEI, make policies to take away DEI when they need to be making up for the fact that these institutions were built off the backs of slaves.
And everybody got rich. That what started capitalism. That's what started our banks, mm-hmm. the 1%. But here's the funny thing about it. Is that roughly Black individuals represent about 15% of the U.S. population, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I did see some statistics like that.
Roughly 50% of the U.S. population.
But what percent of the prison population? But that's a whole nother story.
Listen, that's exactly. Thank you. That's exactly where it's going. They represent 50% of the population, right? Uh-huh. But Black people are suspended, arrested, killed 3 times more likely than a white individual. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to Trayvon Martin, for instance. Mm-hmm. You remember that case? Mm-hmm. Trayvon Martin, how he was struck down by Mark Zimmerman and got away with it. Mm-hmm. This is the infrastructure that has been put in place since the inception of the country, which started with we the people. And until we uproot some of the systematic inequalities, mm-hmm. then Darryl George is going to continue, and others like him will continue to suffer at the hands of the new Jim Crow.
No, not the new Jim Crow. Oof.
Oh, yeah, I'm going there. Oof. Of the new Jim Crow. policies continue to restrict and limit and monopolize Black individuals.
Mm-hmm.
When in actuality, our ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
are the indigenous people of this country.
Yeah, very much so. Christopher Columbus definitely was not the first to discover what is now the North America,
Right.
or the Americas.
Right. Right.
Whew.
So when we're talking about hair, we're talking about a systemic issue that continues to plague the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why, and Dr. Foster, please forgive me if I misspeak for you, but which is why we teach Black students,
Mm-hmm.
which is why we are representative of our population,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I walk around with my hair and I wear it proudly, which is why I walk around with my do-rag on and I don't care how I'm perceived.
Yeah, Charlotte has a do-rag festival, which is so cool. I want to go next year. We gotta go.
We gotta go, and maybe we can do a live podcast.
Yes, we have to, because it means something, y'all.
Right.
And I can't stand when in the past, like people who don't understand, they're like, why do you wear a do-rag? Is it for fashion? Like, I don't understand. Why do you wear a do-rag when you go to bed? And I'm like, get to understand, get to know. I'm glad you're asking, so you can be informed.
Are you asking or are you judging?
Well, it's judging, but I'm informing. How about that?
Right. Right. Exactly.
Because I'm gonna let you know.
Exactly. I'm tired of hearing, oh, is that your hair? Or, oh my God, let me touch your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I don't let nobody touch my hair.
Right, me either. I mean, nobody has ever actually touched my hair, but I'm just speaking for different audiences.
Mm-hmm. Someone else touched my hair, but that's a whole nother story.
But when we're talking about the concept of hair, it is essential to know thyself
mm-hmm.
and know your worth.
Ooh.
And speaking of knowing your worth, I remember there was a job that I had applied for, and I had received an offer in which I took it. Now, just as Dr. Foster alluded to earlier, I always worked with underrepresented populations. That is my background, that's my experience, and I love it. I love my kids. They keep me young, y'all. They keep me young. Mm-hmm. And after receiving this position at this private school, I'm like, oh, let me cut my hair. Mm. And I did that because of the perception of the intersectionality of me being Black and male. Mm-hmm. Being Black, you already have a strike against you. And so I myself, Dr. Foster, was practicing those westernized standards. Mm-hmm. And after I cut my hair, I said I would never again devalue myself the way I did before. Mm-hmm. And it did something to me where I'm like, okay, Aaron, I need you to come into who you are. I need you to be coming to your identity. I need you to be you. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, Dr. Foster, that's what I've been doing. I've been an advocate. I've been upfront. Mm-hmm. And I've also been adamant about my appearance. Mm-hmm. And I do not care how people perceive me or what they say about me. Because at the end of the day, I am representative of children. I am representative of people's uncles. I'm representative of those who are imprisoned. I'm representative of our population. So your opinion of me does not matter. Until you know what it's like to walk in my shoes, then you can give me your opinion.
Thank you.
Until then, I don't want to hear it.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic.
So wow. it really bothers me when those who are in power, well, two things. Those who are in power continue to make decisions about our kids who they know nothing about. And then you have those who are in power who know about the position of our children and choose to do nothing. As you always say, Dr. Foster, your silence will not protect you. So yes, I am bothered.
Hot and bothered.
I am bothered.
Very much so. And that's why we need to be able to have seats at the table.
Exactly.
And voting is important. I know a lot of people say it's not important, but I definitely think it's, especially when you're voting local.
Thank you. That's the key. That's the key. I really don't. The president represents the country, right? But we have local officials like Mitch McConnell. I don't think is he still in office?
I have no idea.
I don't.
Shame on me.
Yeah, I don't know either. But that name just came to me. Who, or like Tim Scott, for instance, in South Carolina, who continues to represent us. But yes, vote at the local levels, y'all. It is important to make sure that we voted in the right people. Make sure that we're doing our research on the ballots. We're not just voting because they're a Democrat or they're a Republican. We are voting because they are doing what's right for our area.
Yes, and doing authentically doing what's right.
Yes. Whew.
Well. I would like to know, like, what do y'all think?
Yes.
What experiences have you had with discrimination because of your hair? Or did you ever feel like when you were at a job interview, if you have natural hair, you had to throw a wig on or something like that? Did you feel insecure about having cornrows or having twists in your hair, having locks?
Right.
We want to know. We want to hear from you.
We do. So please like, share, comment, subscribe. And as Dr. Foster was saying, use your weapon. Let your voice be heard.
Yes.
The more people who start to talk about this, the more that we can start making these changes, y'all. If it's not for anything, it's for the next generation that is coming up.
Yes.
So we need y'all to join in on the conversation.
Yes.
To join in on the fight. I always say this, as John Lewis said, it is necessary to get in good trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all, let's get us some good trouble. All right, let's make it happen.
Yes, and I just want to end this episode with a special affirmation, and that is, I am worthy.
Ooh.
We talked about worthiness during this whole episode.
We did.
I am worthy. You are worthy. We are worthy.
Yes, I agree. That's a good one.
Yes.
That's a good one. I agree. You are worthy. As we said, be sure to join the conversation. Like, follow, subscribe, comment. We are educators. We love data. We love feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are some of you out there who are quantitative as well, and you like data. So please comment. We will comment back. We promise. Until then, this has been an episode with
Dr. Jeffrey Foster
and Aaron Nance. Thank you for watching, joining, and tuning in on another episode of Disturbing the Peace. Peace out, y'all.